the Unapologetically Clout Chasing Caitlin Clark podcast. I think that's what it's called. Unapologetic Clout Chasing of Caitlin.
I believe that the Unapologetic Clout Chasing of Caitlin Clark podcast, which is hosted by Angel Reese, is what it's called. The podcast of Angel Reese, Unapologetically, Angel was meant to be her ultimate spotlight, a place to display her charm and wit outside of basketball. But rather than establishing her dominance, it became a stage for awkward moments, unanticipated controversies, and one name that just won't go away, Cale Clark. If that wasn't enough, Shaquille O'Neal's recent guest appearance transformed Reese's show into something no one could have imagined due to his brutal honesty and seemingly deliberate trolling. Reese was left in an uncomfortable position both as a host and as a basketball personality, but SHAQ didn't stop there. Oh no, he took his trolling to his podcast, doubling down on some truly jaw-dropping takes. Get likes to use his position to motivate people. And I was curious, I've heard SHAQ's position on it. How do guys normally react when SHAQ calls them out? Have you ever seen that perspective before? Be hurt? Yeah, big guys be hurt even when like I done see. I ain't going to name nobody names, but I done see. The kid the other day, yo man, get on my snap so you can go viral. And I told him no. He's like, why you tell me no? I was like, cause what's your plan after you go viral? What you going to do? Anybody can go viral on Monday. What you going to do on Tuesday, bro, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so? Why does Reese's podcast keep circling back to Caitlin Clark? What exactly did SHAQ say? And why is it causing such a stir? And why is SHAQ trolling her once again? Wasn't he Reese's #1 fan? Most importantly, what does all of this mean for Reese's attempt to stay relevant in the highly competitive world of women's basketball? Stick around as we dive into every moment before we break it down. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's go. So that's SHAQ granting Caitlin Clark some recognition directly in front of Angel Reese. Sitting there and clenching her teeth was Angel Reese. Unapologetically, Angel Reese's podcast was probably intended to highlight her personality and maintain her relevance off the court, but rather than enhancing her star power, it's inadvertently doing something else that gives Caitlin Clark a larger. Discussions about Clark's dominance in basketball have taken over Reese's podcast since its first episodes. Even when Clark has nothing to do with the topic, guests can't help but bring it up. Social media quickly caught on with a single viral tweet mocking the Caitlin Clark Hour hosted by Angel Reese, which is more accurate than Reese might want to acknowledge. Consider a recent Shaquille O'Neal episode where Reese's celebration swiftly devolved into an unpleasant situation rather than highlighting her accomplishments. SHAQ then turned to a laudatory assessment of Clark's basketball skills, calling her the truth and drawing comparisons between her three-point shooting and Steph Curry's. Why do you think people adore Kay? In addition to her abilities, Caitlin Clark can shoot threes from the logo, which is something we have never seen before. A young child that resembles Steph Curry. I adore Steph Curry because I've never seen that before. Even more uncomfortably, SHAQ acknowledged that Clark's performance had proven him wrong, which made Reese writhe in front of the audience. We've never seen anyone do that consistently before, even though many girls in W have done it in spurs. But you know, I was a hater because I knew I was down. She said, she's not going to hit that shot, and then, damn, she's not going to hit that shot, man. If I say 10 times and you're not going to hit the shot, then you're the truth. But SHAQ's appearance was just the most recent in a string of similar incidents. Whether on purpose or not, Reese's past guests have always brought up Clark, whether it is to compliment her abilities or discuss her influence on the sport. In any case, it's a challenging look for Reese, who appears to be playing second fiddle even on her own platform. Some speculate that this is a deliberate move by Reese to capitalize on Clark's fame and attract more viewers, or that it's a reflection of Clark's overwhelming influence in women's basketball, where her name simply dominates every room. How significant has your relationship been with Angel? She's like a daughter to me, so I'm going to protect her. I call her and just play around with her, and she's doing a wonderful job. It's hilarious to hear SHAQ extol Clark's praises on Reese's podcast. given his remarks regarding this unpleasant situation was transformed into blatant shame by Reese herself. If you made it this far and are enjoying the video, please remember to like, subscribe, and enable all notifications. SHAQ's direct criticism left Reese reeling and her followers furious. Let's now analyze those startling remarks. We understand that watching this film requires some of your time, and we appreciate that. Now let's get back to the action. Angel Reese was in for a nasty shock if she believed that having Shaquille O'Neal on her podcast would provide her with validation and support. SHAQ's appearance was more than just a lost chance. It was a masterclass in trolling that left basketball fans buzzing and Reese fans furious. You know you are. You're the female wnba Jameson, and he scored 20,000 points with his shot. No matter what your shot is, nobody else's will be as good as yours. Your shot, Steph Curry. The discomfort started early when SHAQ gave what some fans called verbal body shots. His comparison of Reese to wnba Jameson, who was a competent player who had a solid NBA career but was never inducted into the Hall of Fame, was one of the most talked about moments. In sharp contrast to SHAQ's own legendary status, SHAQ's portrayal of Reese suggested that she was more of a role player than a future icon. The comparison seemed to pierce her deeply, and he called her wnba Jameson. She was offended. She didn't know who that was, but she probably does. She's a basketball fan, but I mean, wnba Jameson isn't breaking into anyone's top 200 in NBA history, and this woman believes she is among the best WNBA or women's basketball player of all time. For someone like Reese, who has built her reputation on unapologetic self-expression, SHAQ dismissed it as fundamental, adding that you're too concerned with what people think. Stop caring and just concentrate on your game. The oddest part of SHAQ's unsolicited advice was when he suggested that Reese's shorts might help attract more attention from WNBA fans. They didn't hold back, calling the remark creepy and completely inappropriate. Oh, she can't be rookie year because all she does is get the flip shots, just remember all that they say. Reese appeared taken aback by the remark, and the stillness that ensued said louder than any response she could have spoken. Bro, let me continue. Picture you in I'm Not Imag. Imagine yourself wearing the exact same small shirt you wore at the Wild I Showdown, and you have a lot of t-shirts you're going to sell because you're tripping. Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay. Following SHAQ's visit, social media exploded with fans analyzing every word. Many questioned why he chose to express such scathing criticisms on Reese's show. More questions than it addressed were prompted by SHAQ's unvarnished honesty. Was it tough love, a ploy to make headlines, or just SHAQ being SHAQ? Whatever the reason, his comments not only overshadowed the episode, but also heightened Reese's battle to keep control of her story. However, SHAQ wasn't finished. His podcast served as the backdrop for round 2, where the trolling escalated to unprecedented levels. If Angel Reese believed that the trolling ended when SHAQ left her podcast, she was gravely mistaken. SHAQ escalated the topic on his own platform by doubling down on the comments that had already caused social media to go viral through his show. Ablaze as though I might go say some things and do that, but you must comprehend who I am. I plan everything I do. For instance, you might not believe that the Angel stuff was done on purpose. SHAQ didn't waste any time in addressing the fallout from his appearance on Reese's show, but instead of pulling back, he leaned in more. Everything I said was deliberate. With unreserved confidence in his voice, SHAQ said, I wanted people to talk about it. This acknowledgement made it clear that SHAQ's remarks on Reese's podcast were intentionally designed to stir things up, but he didn't stop there. For Reese, who has already come under fire for her play style and public persona, SHAQ reiterated his criticism of her layup technique when he said, I know everything I said, you dummies, was going to click, we were going to go viral, and the big podcast network was going to do what we do, be number one. This felt less like tough love and more like a conscious attempt to undermine her credibility. Thank you very much, dummies.com. Everything I do is planned, so if you put a camera in my face, you already know what that's about. SHAQ's podcast episode went viral almost immediately, igniting discussions about Reese's status in the WNBA as well as SHAQ's intentions. Was he offering constructive criticism? Was this just another instance of SHAQ's penchant for creating viral moments? Does this mean that SHAQ actually believes Angel is just a role player? What about his embarrassing remarks about her shorts as the do